Hey guys, I want to welcome you to the first Beachside CEO breakfast. We're at Maple Street Biscuit Company here in Miramar Beach, Florida. This first week that we're doing this is literally going to be the beta, so we won't legitimately start until next week, and that's when you're really going to see what's going on. We're excited about that, so you got to bear with us. I'm going to flip the camera around. I want you guys to kind of see what's going on here. You see the backdrop, everything that's happening. It's early. We've been having rain here all day long, so it's a little bit crazy as we look at that. But you can literally see that everybody's getting busy. We've got some customers already in here today, so it's going to be a fun time. And a lot of people have asked, Troy, tell us about Maple Street. We've not heard of it. It's not in our location. What is it? And a couple of great guys, Scott Moore and Gus Evans, just had this brainstorm of, hey, let's give Southern comfort food with a twist. And I mean, literally, check this out here. You can see this. This is their biscuit. And I mean, this is a cinnamon biscuit. These guys get in here early to make these things. These are great. This here is actually, I don't know if y'all can see that. Look at that. Isn't that great? I mean, that's my grits and eggs because I had a tooth extraction yesterday, so I can't have anything hard in my mouth. So no bacon, none of that today. But it's phenomenal. But I want to get back to Maple Street because they're one of our largest supporters. And I want to be clear, Maple Street doesn't endorse the show. It doesn't mean that every opinion or everything that we talk about, all of our views are endorsed by Maple Street. So let's get that clear. That's from legal, my legal, their legal. Everybody says the same thing. But here's what this is. These guys live a value system in their business and in their personal lives that's second to none. Literally, when you look at what we call managers, okay? They don't have managers, they have community leaders, people that are literally leading the team. They call their team members ambassadors because they want them to be part of the community, part of the store, just take care of stuff that's happening. And you don't see that in a lot of businesses these days. A lot of businesses, it's all about the money. That's all they care about. Not true. You know, Maple Street started in Jacksonville, Florida. You can catch it all across the South now. I know Dallas has got some great locations because we get a lot of ping backs every time we do a show and I mention Maple Street or I put something up about them. So you really got to check them out. Okay, you can go into any location, you know, tell them you saw them on the show, you heard about it, you want to come in and check them out because it is amazing. Matter of fact, when I look at the word community, which is really, that's deep into their culture, it's not just about in the store, it's not just about the people they come in. They literally collaborate with other businesses. They collaborate with the outreaches. Just this last month, they raised not raised money, but they raised food. They had a big food donation for people that were out here in the community needing additional food. But guys, that's tremendous. When a company has a second bottom line, when it's not just about the profitability, when it's about, hey, how can we literally give back? We've been blessed, we want to give back. That's pretty cool when you think about it. Our second huge sponsor that we are going to have, which I'm excited about, is my dear friend Freddie Sheets down at Allen's Cool Ink. You guys know my tattoos. Freddie has done the majority of the tattoos that are on my body. Matter of fact, I'm going back again this week to get some new ones, so I gotta really do a shout out. But here's what truly brought me to Freddie. Besides the fact that it's just local, he's there. When I got to know Freddie and started to really understand where his heart was, you know, it's not just in his art and in his craft, it's with his family. This is a guy that, I mean, if you guys check him out on Facebook or you check him out over on Instagram, the first thing you're gonna see is the passion that he has for his family. The amount of energy and time that he puts into his art and craft is because of his family. And he's got some amazing kids, he's got a phenomenal wife. And we will spend hours, literally, as he works on my body, just talking about family and friends. I remember one of the first early times that I went in to see Freddie and he started looking at me, figuring out what kind of art that he wanted to put on my skin. We started talking about one of my 11-year-olds, Tempest, and I started sharing with him how she just has that natural knack of being able to go out there and see something and then just draw it freehand. And he took time when we were done. He said, Troy, here's what I want to do. I want to give you some pencils to give to her. Tell her to start working her craft now. Tell her to start honing it down. Just practice, practice, practice. That's somebody that gives back to the community. He just helped raise some funds for a cousin of his not too long ago. These are the type of sponsors that you're going to see that we have with the show. This is the passion that we're having. I'm going to go over here and look at Facebook right now. Man, I have to put my glasses on to see some of the comments because I really want to see who all's here. Taylor, John, hey, good to see you, buddy. Thanks for hanging out with me this morning. We still need to connect this week, so I want to do that. Tommy, thanks for hanging out and being here. Man, Tina, Todd Miller. We've got a lot of guys, a lot of gals here. Justice, good to see you. Thank you, lady. Just lots. Lorraine, welcome. Thank you for being on the show. It's exciting. And again, guys, this is our beta test week as we get this thing laid out. We figure out what we're going to do. But before I cut it off, because these will be about 15, 20 minutes long, I do want to share something today that I think is important. Because as I look at, I'm going to put my food back here. You guys got to forgive me. I'm going to eat this here in a second. But here's what I want us to look at today, because so many times people don't get what is business, why are we in business? And if you look at the people that I'm hanging with, if you look at truly the people that I want to aspire to be like, the business owners that are out here, there's some things here that you guys have got to understand that really focuses in on this. Everything that I'm talking about here, from Scott and Gus, from Freddie, the people that are sitting here on this morning's live looking at what we're doing, there's certain things that it all comes down to, and it's really one word, one specific word, and that's trust. So many times in business, we don't think about that. We don't think about trust as a tangible. What we do is we think that trust is just something that is going to happen. It's a byproduct maybe of what our marketing is, our branding is, and that's not true. And what I want to do is I want to give you some just little things you can write down. I'll have the team put this up here in the notes somewhere to be over on the episode page when we launch that site next week. By the way, we will have the new sites should go live. Everything will be great. Obviously, with this tooth extraction, I got some downtime, so we're getting some stuff done. But I want you to write this down. This is important. I call this the 8 pillars of trust. If you guys have ever been to a Direct Selling Edge conference, you've heard me speak on this several times because it is the backbone. I don't care what business you're in. I don't care what side gig you've got. I don't care if you're just a guy working 9 to 5 coming home. You could be a mama taking care of her kids. These are the 8 pillars that are going to make a difference in your life. It's going to make a difference in your business. It'll make a difference in whether or not you have customers or raving fans, and that's something you guys need to look at. Number 1 is clarity. Okay, people trust a clear message. If you're not knowing what you are, if you don't know what your purpose in life is, if you don't know why you're in business, then it isn't going to work. Okay, you're not going to attract the people that you want. You may have some upticks, you may be able to do some flash sales or whatever you want, but they will not stick around to be with you unless you have a clear message. People want to know what you stand for, and that's very important, guys, as we look at this. Number 2 is compassion. People put faith in those that care beyond themselves. That's what I love about Maple Street. That's what I love about Freddie Sheets over here at Allen's Cooling, is that they give back. It's not just about take. Okay, every time I've come into Maple Street, they are giving back. Matter of fact, if you're in law enforcement, if you're a first responder and you come in here, they take care of you. I don't know how many times I've come in here, and you guys got to understand, Maple Street is not a paying client of ours. I just fell in love with the culture, fell in love with the restaurant. And when you look at that was them giving back. They've given me some coffee, they've given me biscuits, they've given friends and family stuff. That is giving back. And when you look at them giving back to the community, that's them caring more about the community, more than just the bottom line. And again, I watch Freddie do this every day. When I go in there to get a tattoo, and I'm gonna segue and use him for a second. Freddie and I have such a respect for each other that I just say, look, here's what I want. You draft it. The ink that he has put on my hand has all been his original designs. And when we sit down and we start to negotiate out the price, it isn't based on the tattoo. It's based on the amount of hours. Because like me, he gets paid for his time. But because he's an artist, he has gone beyond what I've been paying for. He gives more back to me because he knows how important each of my tattoos are. Guys, this is what happens when you're compassionate, when you're giving back to other people, when you give to your family, when you give to your customers. Matter of fact, I would challenge you. If you're in a business of any kind, it can be internet-based, it can be a Main Street brick and mortar business, I don't care what it is. I challenge you to find somebody you can give back to. Listen to the customer stories that are out there. Pay attention to what your team members are going through and give back to them. Number 3 is character. People notice those who do it right even when it's hard. And there's a lot of times people want to cut corners. You know, in business today, in politics, and even in the spiritual field, we see people cutting corners. Not the way to do it. When I went in and saw the doctors yesterday over at Miramar Beach, ortho dentist, they didn't cut corners pulling out my tooth. I'd sat down, I'd focused, they worked me up the chart. They said, look, here's how much this is going to cost. Okay, so you need to be prepared for this. I went in, they pulled out my tooth, and then he said, you know, we didn't have to do surgery or anything, so I'm going to lower your bill. That's character. He could have just left it like it was, no big deal. I wouldn't have known the difference. That's not what it's about. If you're going to build a business, you have to use all 8 pillars to build trust. Number 4 is competency. People have confidence in those who stay fresh. You know, a lot of times when I'm out here talking with clients, one of the things that we look at is how long has your brand been stagnant? What is it that you're trying to do? In the restaurant business, about every 5 years, you see them spin up something. They tweak something, they change something. If it's a fine dining restaurant, they may even change the complete theme of the restaurant. If it's health and nutrition, you're constantly seeing these guys pop stuff, bring something new out to push it. This is the key. You have to stay fresh. And in a personal brand note, you guys have to stay fresh. Okay, you have to stay authentic. You have to stay you. But here's the key here, guys. You have to be focused. You have to be moving it forward. If you're not, it won't work. I'm going to tell you that right now. You have to keep this thing moving the way it's supposed to move. Number 5, commitment. People believe in those who stand for something. Maple Street has their community guidelines. They are focused on going out there and building in the community, collaborating. Maple Street here in Miramar Beach is in a strip mall. It's in the Sandestin shops. A lot of small business owners here. This is truly a Main Street establishment, if you will. And here's the cool thing that I love about these guys. And that is that they're always working. You know, at Valentine's, they worked with a local florist, and they had flowers that people could buy in here. It was awesome the way that they had this thing set up. Okay, same thing is true wherever you're at. And you may be looking and saying, wait a minute, Troy, we're literally we're a brick and mortar business. We're not a brick and mortar business. We're actually an internet-based business. We don't have the same abilities that a brick and mortar business does. Totally false. Okay. You guys can do stuff online. I see online internet marketers do this all the time. My wife, as you guys know, Paige, over the years has bought all kinds of LuLaRoe. Okay, never been a rep in the company. What she does is she goes to these online, these online parties that they have here on Facebook and they have on all these other sites, and what they end up doing is she just buys, but they'll do buy one, get one free, or a few of these ladies, as she's become a full-time customer of theirs, they just throw extra stuff in for her, extra stuff in for the girls, doesn't matter what it is. That's what I mean when you're commitment, when you're willing to go beyond, when you're willing to focus. People want to see that. People also want to see that you're willing to push forward through adversity. Okay, that's another thing that commitment is. So many times, here's what we see. It gets tough, people quit. Something happens, people quit. Okay, there are certain things in your life, adversities. I'm just going to share. A lot of people don't understand or don't know the backstory. And we'll get into this in a different show. Right now, we're just doing the launch. We're wanting to get this thing rolling. But over the last 24 to 36 months, we've gone through a lot as a family, and yet we've continued to push through that. We have grandkids that we're now taking care of. I have 2 sons that are serving time in prison. but yet we continue to push forward. People that know us understand, people that know us know that we push right on through this thing. Everybody has a backstory. Everybody's going through adversity. If you're building a business, listen to what people are going through. If you're going through something, let some close people know so that you can push through. You don't have to do it by yourself, but you got to push through the adversity. That's the fourth or the fifth pillar. The fifth pillar, is commitment. Okay, pushing through that adversity. The sixth pillar. I told you guys, man, this is our beta trying to get this done, and I just want to see how it's going to work this week. Number 6 is connection. People want to follow, buy from, and be around friends. Now, there's this old saying that people buy from people they like. I don't believe that. I think people buy from people that they love, trust, and want to hang out with. And that's what you guys have to do. If you're building that brand out there, I'm gonna do a shout out because I saw her pop on here a minute ago. Abigail Klutz is one that I've watched her grow her business. Been to some of her first meetings, watched how she was building. This is a girl that makes connections. When she was looking for a customer, a client, whatever you want to call them in her business, I know what name they use, I'm just not going to give that out. Here's what you end up with. You have somebody that said, wow, she's my friend first. Okay, she wanted to become my friend. She wanted to help me with whatever my need was. It wasn't just about going out there and selling some kind of product. And I think that's exactly what we have to do. That when I say connection, that's what I mean. Put the people first. That's the key. And Mitch Newman, who just came on, he's one of my personal mentors, has helped me through a lot over the last few years. Mitch is another one that I've watched give. When he's trying to build his business, and he's got a practice that he builds. He works with power couples, people that, and trust me, listen guys, if you and your spouse are busting it and you're building a business, you sometimes are really, it's stressful because you're with each other sometimes 24/7. Mitch has got a great practice over there that really works with couples like that. But one of the things that he's taught me on an individual basis is, Troy, never look just at yourself, always look at others. And because of that, I was able to build a great relationship with another friend of his, Tony Cohen. And Tony and I don't know if we see anything eye to eye except that our love for people. We want to help people. But it's interesting because we became great friends, and it's all because Mitch taught us that it's about connection. Find that one thing that you can agree on, man, and just drive that one home. And if you're going to build a business, if you want to build trust with people, then you've got to be like Mitch, you've got to be like Abby. You've got to go out there and build that connection first, or it's just not going to work. Number 7 is contribution. People immediately respond to results. Okay, this pie in the sky stuff that we see, whether it's in politics or business or whatever, the internet marketing crap that we see rolling around all the time. Guys, it doesn't work, okay? People don't care about the hype. They want to care about results. They want to know that they can look at your product, take your product, they can buy your service, or they can look at you as a leader, okay? And let me clarify something. Ranking up in a comp plan, that doesn't make you a leader. Leadership is about building other leaders. It's about showing other people the results that are needed. It's about making sure they are getting the same results that you got, no matter how long you've been in a business. Now you may be saying, well, Troy, what about if we got a brick and mortar business? What about if I sell life insurance? I sold life insurance for 15 years with Primerica. And the results maybe in a life insurance business is different than an immediate result if you're selling a potion or a lotion, or the results of a fat belly when you leave a Maple Street because you're feeling good. But you know what the results was for me? It's when I walked into my first death claim that I had to pay out. And it was a substantial amount of money. And I sat down before Lois and I slid the check over and I said, I'm sorry about Dan's passing. He was a good man. He taught me a lot because I really do love getting close to my clients. She endorsed the back of that check. She slid it back over to me. And she said, Dan said I could trust you. I want you to make sure that this is going to grow for my family. Now that is contribution. That is connection. That is really putting it out there to where you're learning about what you're doing. And guys, that's at the name of the game. If you're not giving back, if you're not connecting, if you're not making sure the results are there, And she was a client up until the time I retired, actually, from Primerica. Made a lot of money for her and her family, her grandkids. That's the key right there. That's what you've got to do. It's always about giving back. Zig Ziglar used to say, if you go help enough people, then you're going to be taken care of. Now, that's my paraphrase, but that's the truth. Number 8, and I'm going to let you guys go. Y'all got to get to work, is consistency. People love to see people who take care of the little things. Okay, you can't run a business and be all over the place. You have to consistently be checking up on yourself. You've got to consistently be checking up on your products. Matter of fact, we see right now a lot of news in the media about the opiate addiction. And that's people that put profits above the people. Not saying that at some times that people might need opiates that are in big pain, but we had doctors and pharmaceutical companies that weren't paying attention. Now, on the flip side of that, I see massive amounts of people talking about how CBD and all that crap is just the greatest stuff under the sun, and by golly, if you take this, you're almost bound to go to heaven. And that's not true either. So you have to make sure that your consistency includes every piece of the pie. You've got to make sure that your internal processes, that your external processes, that your purpose statement, your mission, your vision, whatever it is you guys have in your businesses that are focused. And listen, I'm not just talking to brands right now. I'm talking about you. You are a personal brand. You stand for something, and people have to know this. Okay, and you have to be consistent in every way. You can't be running around telling everybody how. Now I'm gonna use something that I don't think I might offend somebody. I don't know. You can't run around and tell everybody you love Jesus, and then you're sitting in a prostitution house every weekend. That's not consistent. You can't go around telling everybody, hey, don't get drunk, and then you're at the bar getting drunk every weekend. It doesn't work that way. If you're going to be consistent, then you need to make sure every aspect of your life is 100% in tune with what your message is. Plain and simple. I'm going to go back and brag a little bit on Abby again. A few weeks ago, she put up just a long post on Facebook, and it was just her in a self-reflection, her going back to the basics, her getting her life back in tune. And as I read through what she had written, it's like, wow, man, that's what we all need to do. We constantly have to be making sure we're consistent, that we're living up to those values and principles that we have. That's what I love about Maple Street. They live their actual community guidelines. They expect certain stuff. I mean, to a certain degree, listen to this. This is how focused they are on their guidelines. If they have contractors working for them, those contractors have to agree, hey, no swearing, man, because we're a public place. We have kids, we have families. We don't want a bunch of swearing going on. That's amazing. I mean, they stand firm for this. They're also closed on Sundays. They make a boatload of business, 7 to 2, and then they want to make sure that their actual ambassadors have time to get off. They have time to go out and enjoy their family. They have time for worship on Sundays if that's what they're doing. So, hey guys, I want you just to say thanks for hanging out on the first of the new shows. You can go to any of the big podcasting deals out there. Just type in Troy Dooley, or you can type in Beachside CEO. We've done 970 shows over the last 10 years, and we're now launching this new platform, this new style. We want to get in. We're going to be interviewing people. We're going to be talking about different topics that are focusing on you, and it's just being able to give back. And like I said, the new sites are going to be up in September. I'm excited with what the team has done there. Hats off and a big thank you to Maple Street for allowing us to do it live at the location. This is something that's huge. This is trust. I came in here and met a lot of people, met the executives and the founders as they came into town and opened up this place, saw who they were, saw that we actually went together, and this was a win. My hat's off to Freddie for what he's done. Freddie got me some new shirts yesterday, but it was raining cats and dogs, so we're excited about where that goes. So guys, remember, stay humble, stay strong, go out there and build something that you can be proud of, okay? You've been listening to the voice of Main Street America. Have a great day.